6:48, time for the morning rush. We are working now to learn more about a shooting in northeast Albuquerque that put 2 people in the hospital. Albuquerque police say that the victims were found with gunshot wounds early Sunday morning. That was near Wyoming Boulevard and Chico Road. As of this morning, there's still no word on their conditions. New Mexico State Police are asking for your help this morning as they search for a missing man. Officers have issued a turquoise alert for 38-year-old Eric Cleveland. They say he was last seen wearing black clothing and a black hat with a Brown Zia symbol on it. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call Gila Police Department. The Laguna fire burning in Rio Arriba County is causing evacuations for some. At last check, the fire has burned over 16,000 acres and is 45% contained. Residents at Gallinas Ranch are in go status, meaning that evacuations are in place. Meanwhile, the Monastery of Christ in the Desert, located in ABQ, they are in set status. Ryan.
And the upper levels, that smoke moving through the Four Corners in the Gila National Forest, also translating at the surface, so poor air quality in the Four Corners and parts of the Gila National Forest. The Laguna fire will spew out more smoke, but with upper level winds coming more from the north-northeast, that smoke kind of moved to the south-southwest. And we'll watch out for tomorrow morning the potential of more areas in the Four Corners with unhealthy air quality.
The village of Ruidoso has now red-tagged Dalma's Barber Shop, that's on the 600 block of Sutterth Drive, after extreme damage to the building from the recent deadly flooding. Well, the red tag prohibits entry until the structure is demolished or repaired. The village says please do not ignore the caution tape and do not try to enter the property. Well, the state's Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management is now encouraging all residents and visitors to enable emergency notifications on their smartphones, and that's to watch for inclement weather and wildfires. Now, to turn on the alerts, officials say to open the Settings app on your phone, go to Notifications, select Emergency Alerts, then enable Local Awareness. Well, some Bernalillo County property owners, they could be in for sticker shock when they get their tax bills this year. Bernalillo County Assessor Damian Lara says that of the 20,000 commercial properties they assessed, a little less than half saw an increase in value. Assessor Lara says that while the property valuation is just one factor in determining property taxes, a value increase does not always lead to a tax increase, and there are other factors as well. Ryan.
Flash flooding occurred on Saturday in Tijeras as the bridge was inundated with water, and the water crested around 10 to 12 feet or more, rushing on through usually a dry arroyo. Turn around, don't drown, and avoid flooded roadways and low-lying areas. Will have scenes like this potentially later this week in parts of New Mexico.
Researchers say that the threatened Gila trout now have a promising future thanks to the efforts of the Mora National Fish Hatchery. The Gila trout, they were listed as endangered before being downgraded to threatened in 2006. Well, since then, the Mora hatchery has now been trying to use some new recovery protocols. That's allowing for better fertilization for the eggs. The hatchery says survival rates have jumped from 30% to even 91%. Espanola Humane is now sharing the story of one of its residents who is now ready for a new life. The shelter says that Iris arrived at the facility barely hanging on to life with her puppies in tow. Staff says that she was skin and bones and too scared to even lift her head. Now the Humane Society separated Iris from her babies. That was to focus on her recovery, and slowly she began to trust people again. Iris is available to adopt or foster. Ryan.
And taking a look at traffic right now, no major accidents nor slowdowns on the roadways as of this Monday morning. Taking a look at tracker heading south, 925 near the Big I. It's moving along, traffic, and we'll have to watch out for some delays potentially later this morning, but right now looking good, and more updates to come.
Soccer star Lionel Messi's favorite goal of his 20-year career, it will soon be transformed into AI-driven digital art. Rick Anadol's piece titled Living Memory of Messi, A Goal in Life. It will be based on the soccer superstar's 2009 Champions League final header. The piece will be displayed at Christie's, New York, and available in an online auction closing on July the 22nd. That could also fetch about $1.5 million. All the proceeds are going to be going to several nonprofits.
And now it's time for the 5 facts. At number 5, Espanola Humane is sharing the story of one of its residents who is now ready for a new life. The shelter says Iris arrived at the facility barely hanging on to life with her puppies. They say her pups were fed and now thriving as Iris had been giving them everything she had. The Humane Society separated Iris from her babies to focus on recovery. For days, she was too afraid to leave her kennel, but slowly she began to trust the people again. The Humane says this week Iris met staff with a smiling face and is ready to be loved and available up for adoption.
At number 4, researchers say that the threatened Gila trout now have a promising future thanks to the efforts of a northern New Mexico fish hatchery. The experts say that the Gila trout, they were listed as endangered before being downgraded to threatened in 2006. Well, since then, conservationists at the Mora National Fish Hatchery, they have been trying to use some new recovery protocols aimed at boosting the species' survival. The facility's project leader says the changes to their spawning process is allowing for better fertilization to fish eggs.
And at number 3, a stormy week with fewer storms today for most, but still a good chance of flooding in Ruidoso. A possible threat of that around the trout fire burn scar. Fewer storms today in the Rio Grande Valley. Unhealthy air quality in the Four Corners. It'll be hotter, but a little bit stormier by the middle of the week, and eventually more storms by the end of the week with cooler weather.
At number 2, we are working to learn more about a shooting in northeast Albuquerque that put 2 people in the hospital. Albuquerque police say that the victims were found with gunshot wounds early Sunday morning. That was near Wyoming Boulevard and Chico Road. Well, as of this morning, there's still no word on their conditions. We will continue to update you both on air and online as we learn more. And at number 1, some Bernalillo County property owners, they could be in for sticker shock when they get their tax bills this year. Bernalillo County Assessor Damian Lara says that the potential changes are the result of their office following state law to calculate property taxes and undervaluing some property for years. Now, for residential properties, there is a cap preventing taxes from increasing more than 3% per year. However, commercial properties do not have a cap. Lara says that the 20,000 commercial properties they assessed, a little less than half, saw an increase in value.